We're here with Chris Morris. He is the head coach of Team Alberta, and they are going to be participating at the 2018 Football Canada Cup in Calgary, Alberta next week. Chris, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thanks very much for having me on.
Chris, for those people that are watching this and they don't know about your playing and coaching career, can you give a little bit of insight and background as to who you are?
Sure, absolutely. I started off as a professional football player. I played with the Edmonton Eskimos for 14 years. About halfway through my career, I started a secondary career as a teacher, and I was teaching full-time in the last 8 years of my CFL career, that doesn't happen anymore in that league, but it used to be sort of the commonplace where guys would be working while they were playing. Upon my retirement, I became an assistant principal with Edmonton Public Schools. Then I was a principal for 5 years with Edmonton. During that time, I was coaching with Harry Ainley here in Edmonton, coaching football with them. We had some very successful years there, and then the University of Alberta head coaching job became available. I applied for it, and I've been here for the last 5 years trying to rebuild, which was once a historically strong program, which had fallen on some pretty tough times, but we've got things going in the right direction. I'm very excited about what's coming up with this team.
So, Chris, let's talk about this year's version of Team Alberta. What can we expect from this team at the 2018 Football Canada Cup?
Yeah, the strength of Alberta football is the nature of the kids that we have here. The coaches here in these communities do a wonderful job creating selfless players, creating physical football players, creating guys who play the game the right way. And I think the high school coaches always give us some kids that we can work with and always be very competitive with. I think over the last few years we've been athletic, but maybe not quite as athletic as some of the other teams, but shown very well against some of the top teams in the country. And that's a testament to the blue-collar mentality that we bring to the table here in Alberta. I think that's always first and foremost showcased when an Alberta team takes the field.
So let's go to the offensive side of Team Alberta. Can you tell us who your quarterbacks are and how they may complement and differ from each other when it comes to playing styles?
Yeah, Anton Amarud is a quarterback we have. He's from Lloydminster in Alberta, so from a smaller community. One of the best arms I've seen on a kid that age. He's only a grade 10 kid, and he's got a tremendous upside from the ability to throw the football. Mature for his age, brings a lot to the table. Tristan from, I think, Ernest Manning down in Calgary is another tremendous talent. Big, long kid who throws the ball well as well. Neither one of them is a burner. Neither one of them is like a running-type quarterback who's going to scamper away and have running plays behind them. But for me, that's good. I like guys who can throw the ball downfield. I don't think you can win the Canada Cup with a quarterback who's a runner. I think you need someone who can throw the ball, and I think we have two of them who do it very well.
So other than the quarterbacks, can you talk and give us a little bit of insight into the offensive side of Team Alberta, and if you could also tell us a few players to watch?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a very good offensive line again. Like Alberta tends to produce lots of good offensive linemen. The group we have this year is no exception. Jacob Weller, I know he's on that CFC Top 100 list. I think he's one of the best offensive linemen in the country. From Red Deer, he's gonna be a tackle for us. Caleb Batts is another player we have. He's from small town, not really small town, but from Lethbridge, Alberta in the south. Another very talented player. Some really, really good young kids, like Cody Newman's a kid from Salisbury here in Edmonton. He's a grade 10 kid, and he plays like a grade 12 player. Albert Reese is another grade 10 player who plays at a very high level. Zach McNeil, another player from Salisbury. Salisbury High School actually has 3 kids on the U18 team here, which is exceptional. So we have a very, very well-rounded offensive line, very athletic kids. Our running back core, Matthew Peterson's a returning player for us. We think he's one of the best tailbacks in the country. Very physical, very fast. Justin Quinones is another player in our backfield. We have some weapons coming out of the backfield for sure. And I think the strength of this team could very well be our receiving core. Like Jackson Hume, we feel is one of the best skill players in the nation. Ajo is one of the better skill players in the nation. Tanner Shaw, a kid from Salisbury here. Salisbury's got quite a few players represented here. And Adley Mayal is a real burner, a real playmaker for us on the outside there too. So we have far more athleticism, I think, than we've ever had on this team. What's going to tell and what's going to determine whether or not this team is successful or how far we go is just going to be how much this team, who's very, very athletic and very, very gifted, can buy into playing for each other. I see every indication that they're doing that, but that's going to be. We're talented enough to go as far as we possibly could. We could win this thing if everybody buys it and gets going in the right direction.
So on the flip side, the defense, can you give us a little sense of what we can expect with that and some players to watch there as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Defensively, we have some really, really good linebackers in this team, like Daniel Flanagan's a kid from St. Francis in Calgary. Outstanding program they run down there, perennially in the provincial finals. He's going to be a real leader for us. He was on the team with us last year as well. Gabe Spearin's another guy he's from a small town up in Grand Prairie, northern Alberta. Long, fast-moving linebacker who can really, really play well. Isaiah Neal, defensive end from Harry Ainley here in the city, is another talented player. Tyshawn Blackburn is somebody who really, everybody in the tournament's got to watch this kid. He's a tall, long kid who can really, really run. He's going to have a tremendous Canada Cup, and another St. Francis kid. Romeo Nash would be the other one I would mention. Romeo's had a tremendous camp. He's had a tremendous winter with us. He was on our team last year as well. We think he's going to be an exceptional player for us here.
Chris, how?
I can't mention them all.
I know.
I can mention every team in our.
You're not the only coach to say that in their interviews. They've all said that if they could name all their players, they would. But there's always a few players to watch, and so we asked that so people could prepare to see top players. Chris, I am going to ask this question: how integral of a part or a role are special teams going to play in this tournament for Team Alberta?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. You got to make some plays on special teams. John Price is our special teams coach, and he's done an exceptional job the last 2 years, and we expect to be very strong again this year. Like the difference, I think, this year is with kids like Hume and Shaw and Mayala, like that, we have some real playmakers. So the return game is going to be really good for us. Jonathan Rosary took one back to the 1 yard line last year for us. We had a great return last year. We're hoping we can get 2 or 3 big returns that really help us this year. We should be sound overall because we're very athletic as a team, so our cover game should be very good. We're hoping to get some big returns too, though, and I think Coach Price and I think that unit will make things happen for us.
Chris, and this is now a question that when I ask coaches on the fly, they have to think about it for a minute. How many returning players do you have coming back from last year's team?
You know what? I believe it's only 2. I think it's Daniel Flanagan and Matthew Peterson. I'm trying to think down we don't have any offensive linemen. We don't have any defensive linemen. Daniel's the linebacker. Oh, so Romeo Nash would be another returner. So it's probably 3.
Okay.
And you know what? It's I think that's a testament because the team is very, very strong this year. We don't have as many returning players, I think, as some years we've been running it, but I think we're very strong regardless of that fact.
So your first opponent in the game on Monday will be British Columbia. This is their second year in the tournament. Chris, what do you know about your opponent? What are you doing to prepare, and what can you talk about Team BC?
Well, I know from watching them last year, that was a very, very athletic group. And I think when you look at BC athletes, one of the benefits of being a CIS coach or a youth sports coach and still recruiting and looking at the kids, the BC athletes are always very, very athletic, and they're going to have some very athletic players when we play them on Monday. Preparing for them, you have to be sound. They use different formations. They have some pretty skilled offensive coaches who try to use formations to put you in a bind. Their defensive staff do a really good job of making sure that their kids play physical and they cover and they run to the football and play physical football. So it'll be a challenge for us. That's a formidable opponent. BC coming back into the tournament kind of changes things because now, no matter who you're playing in the first round, you're playing a provincial powerhouse who's going to have lots of athletes all across the board. So we're excited to play them. Our kids can't wait to play. We've been practicing for a long time now together and getting this team together. And I know we're all excited to play these guys. We're going to have to play very, very well and play very hard and physical to get out of that game.
What is the goal for Team Alberta at the 2018 Football Canada Cup?
Yeah, Quebec's won the last 2 Canada Cups, and we've been ahead of Quebec for, I think, 40 out of 45 out of 50 minutes. Or I think they took the lead on us with a minute left in the game last year.
You have quite a history with Quebec in particular, previous Canada Cups. So
yeah, and I think that's the thing with us. I think we just got to make a few more plays and we can win this thing. Like every year, Alberta, we're not a team that's going in there just to have a good time. Like Alberta's going to win the Canada Cup every year. So It's one of those things where we feel we have the talent to do it. We just have to make the plays at the right time and make sure we keep together through the whole thing. Because there's going to be ups and downs. There'll always be ups and downs in a tournament like this when you're playing against such quality opponents. So for us, it's about staying together and making sure we make those key plays when we need to. We were 1 or 2 plays away last year from being in the final, and we want to be in that final this year. We want to be playing for the gold medal.
If you could describe the 2018 version of Team Alberta in one word, what would it be and why?
You know what? This team has more swagger, a little bit more confidence, I think, than a lot of teams we've had here, and I'm excited about that. I think sometimes you can be a little bit too polite. It's good to be respectful of your opponent, but you need to understand, you need to sort of want to take over the field and make it yours. I think this group can do that. I think this group plays the game that way, and I'm excited to watch them do it.
My final question for you, Chris. For you personally, what are you most looking forward to at the 2018 Football Canada Cup?
I just love watching the kids grow as they play and watching to see how they respond to adversity and how they play when they're up and how they start helping their teammates play at a higher level and encouraging their teammates. I just love watching kids this age learn those skills, right? Like you always talk about like what are you recruiting as a youth sports coach, and like for me it's all about character. It's all about like the kids that they're going to make everybody else around them better, the kids who are going to play with passion, the kids who love to play. And I just love watching that here because you can really see the difference between some kids who just love to play the game. And it's not just on our team. You see it all across the tournament. You can see those flashes of light, the ones who just love to play the sport of football and would do anything to play it. And then guys who just kind of want to play, they enjoy it, but it's just not the same passion for them. And I love watching those bright stars come out because the Canada Cup brings it out in them because everybody's playing against someone who can beat them physically on any given play. So that the kids who play the game with emotion really stand out. That's what I love to see more than anything else.
Thank you, Chris, for joining us.
No, thanks very much for having me on again.
That is Chris Morris, the head coach of Team Alberta. They will be playing the first game of the Football Canada Cup on Monday against British Columbia in Calgary, Alberta.